Hello and welcome back to Stabilizer School. In this module, we are going to go over how you choose your stabilizer. So we will be talking about how to choose the right stabilizer for the job, what to consider when choosing a stabilizer, and don't worry, I have broken this all down into the M.U.S.H.Y method. I named it something ridiculous on purpose, not only because that's how the acronym just happened to fall, but because I wanted it to stick in your brain. This is a 5-step method so that you can get the perfect stabilizer every single time. And I'll even go over some M.U.S.H.Y method examples, okay? I will walk you through a few different examples of how I would use the M.U.S.H.Y method to break down my project. So why is stabilizer choice so important? If you are familiar at all with me, you know that I preach this a lot. Stabilizer choice is so important. Actually, sometimes I can even be a little forward about it and be like, no, don't use that. Let's talk about another plan for you. Stabilizer choice is key to your embroidery, truly is. Stabilizer choice can make or break your machine embroidery. If you choose the wrong weight, wrong category of stabilizer, you can end up with a ruined project, which is probably why you have taken this course in the first place, right? Some signs of improper stabilization include design distortion. So you'll actually see that your outlines don't match with the fill stitches, the basically meat and bones of your design. You can get puckering all around the design. You can end up stretching your fabric, which is not great. That will also cause puckering and alignment issues. You can actually break your stitches, which is really frustrating. That can start to unravel the whole project. You can even ruin the material you are working on. Trust me, I have sewn through enough fabric. It really sucks. I just sewn through enough fabric for the both of us. No more, no more, no more. I probably don't need to tell you all this, do I? You are here because you have probably had issues with embroidery, quote, going wrong. That's okay. We are going to tackle the stabilization side of this. And there are a lot of different culprits for this. It could be hooping, which I will help you with in here as well. There could be needle and thread choices. There could be tension issues, but improper stabilization is the #1 issue I see, and this is what we are tackling in this course. If you start stabilizing properly, you're going to notice that your embroidery immediately jumps leaps and bounds. And it does take a while to understand how to stabilize. Flat out, it does. There's a lot of trial and error that is going to need to happen. Okay, I want you to embrace this process as you learn. This class is going to help you cut down on that figure it out stage. And then I, Kate Tony, and Tough Kitten Crafts and all the machine embroider alongs that we have coming up, this will help you get in the practice and get you trying new things and really starting to see how you work, what you like, what you don't like. Fortunately, the figure it out, no more Googling, no more piecing together blog posts. This course and particularly the M.U.S.H.Y method are going to help you cut out a lot of the BS in the middle. So what is the M.U.S.H.Y method? The M.U.S.H.Y method, which so ridiculously named, is a 5-step system that I run my projects through so that I can know the exact stabilization that I should do. Perfect stabilizer every time. We are talking backing and topper. So let's go ahead and break down the M.U.S.H.Y method. Of course, it's an acronym, you know. M stands for something, U stands for something. You know how it works. We're going to start today with M, of course. Let's start at the beginning. Very good place to start. M in the M.U.S.H.Y method stands for material. what types of stabilizer does your specific material need? Now, the M.U.S.H.Y method used to be a different acronym and it said fabric, but I want you to know that you can actually embroider on a multitude of materials, balsa wood, cork. There's even some people who have done it on aluminum. So material is more important. That's what I want you to remember. Don't think of fabric, think of material. And with your material, is there stretch? Because if there's stretch, we know we have to use a cutaway, or you will know once we get to the cutaway breakdown. Can you use heat on this material? If you can't use heat, if you can't put an iron to this material, then we know that we can't use a fusible. Is the fabric sheer? Now, if the fabric is sheer, then we likely want all traces of stabilizer to be gone, right? We don't want to see this beautiful embroidery on this organza and then see the outline of our stabilizer right through the fabric. How heavy or light is the fabric? You are going to stabilize organza very differently than a heavyweight wool. Is there texture to the fabric? And when I say that, I'm talking toweling or minky, something where there is a nap or a pile that is going to affect whether or not we need a topper to get perfect embroidery. Does this fabric need special care? Now, funny enough, this kind of plays into the material aspect to me, because when I think of this, I think of when I embroidered toilet paper. That absolutely needed special care. It is so delicate. I needed to be sure that I wasn't ripping through it. I needed to make sure, I mean, it was cheap toilet paper. So I needed to make sure that I wasn't going to just tear right through it, that it was well stabilized. Lots of special considerations for that material. Is there a pattern we need to contend with? Now, what this means is, or it could even just be depth of color that we have to contend with. Are you trying to do white embroidery on a black shirt? Are you trying to do light pink embroidery on fabric that has a really beautiful design to it, right? Can you imagine putting light pink embroidery over a tulip pink design? Yeah, the busyness of that design would actually start to come through, right? So that's something else we would have to contend with as far as toppers go, which, like I said, we'll talk about that topper specifically in the specialty embroidery stabilizer section. Now, the M.U.S.H.Y method isn't a magic wand. Of course, there is the U.S.H.Y, and I walk you through each one in the same way, and then we head into how you can take this method and break down your project bit by bit. And that's all inside Stabilizer School. Stabilizer School is a wonderful source of knowledge, but the M.U.S.H.Y method alone isn't your magic wand. The M.U.S.H.Y method is no good without stabilizer knowledge, because coming back to here, if I ask you if there's stretch in the material and you say yes, what does that mean for you, right? We need to understand the stabilizers and how they work and how they best stabilize materials, stitch counts, certain types of stitches, whatever it may be. So the M.U.S.H.Y method goes hand in hand with the rest of the course, which is stabilizer knowledge. I give you all that inside Stabilizer School, and you'll just have to come join us inside. Let me know if you have any questions about Stabilizer School. You can always DM me or email me or whatever. I am here for you, and I can't wait to see you inside. We are going to stop ruining our embroidery projects. We are going to become embroidery geniuses and be empowered to be fearless with embroidery. Thanks so much. I will see you inside.